Hello and welcome to the Pew Football Podcast with me, Guillem Balague. We've got today somebody who, save of a brief spell in the United States when you were 32, I think, he's played solid in Spain for Athletic Club Bilbao and Real Madrid, appearing in 275 La Liga matches over 13 seasons and winning a total of 6 honors with Real Madrid, that is. Spanish international, that's Aitor Karanka. Hola, Aitor.
Hi, hello, how are you?
I'm good. Who were your centre-back partners throughout your career? You must have had loads.
The first one was really famous in Spain because at that time he was in the national team, was General Adrianoa. He was the first and someone who taught me a lot of things because, it was in Bilbao. When I arrived to Bilbao, I was 15, 16 years. And at that time, Howard Kendall was the head coach in the first squad. So imagine the influence of the English football there. And General Adrianoa was one example and one mirror to look at. So it was the first partner who I have. Then when I came to Real Madrid, I had another one who I had admired, like Manolo Sanchez, because as a kid, those years when La Quinta del Buitre won every single season, and I grew with that Quinta del Buitre, and to play with Manolo was a dream. And the following one was Fernando Hierro, and from that day, Fernando Hierro is my friend, is almost my mentor, and who I am blaming now because I am a coach.
In fact, do you create a special relationship with your centre-back partner? As in, you are a team within a team. Does it work like that a little bit? Yeah,
because I think my mind, my thoughts at that time were like, okay, as a defender, you have to protect yourself because everybody is expecting offensive football. Everybody is speaking about the strikers or the forwards or the people who score goals. And for me, and especially when I played in Real Madrid, it was like more or less the referee. I wanted to finish the game, and nobody said anything about me because when someone is speaking about the defenders, it's because you made a mistake or something like that. So when you are a defender, you need to protect yourself, as I said before. And with all of them, I created a big relationship on the pitch and outside the pitch.
So you started your managerial career with the under 16s of Spain. Who did you have under you? What kind of players you had at that time?
So at that time they were kids, but now they are men, and all of them, or most of them, are recognized. I remember in that team, for example, I had Gerard Deulofeu, I had Jose, I had Paco Alcácer, I had Juan Bernat. So players who now they are playing at the top level.
And what did you think you added to them? Because you don't have a lot of time with them, but what do you think you added to those players?
I think for me, when I arrived to that changing room, because at the time obviously nobody recognized them, it was like I wanted to transmit that the feeling that they had lived 25 or 30 years before, when I was 15, when I was 16, when I arrived to Athletic Bilbao Academy in Lezama, and just to transmit my confidence, to let them play, because with that quality, it was easy to play, and then to show them and to transmit them how proud they should be about being in the national team, and just at that time was more guiding them as a persons rather than a players, because as a players, all of them were really good. And at that time was really important also the connection that I had with the clubs, because at that time it was really important their education a part of the football.
You became Jose Mourinho's assistant in 2010 at Real Madrid. I've got a feeling that we're going to talk more about that in a minute. But you also became your own manager, Middlesbrough and Nottingham Forest. And I've been trying to find a way of encapsulating your busy and long football career as a coach and as a manager. I've come up with a way. I've asked you to think of 5 people that have shaped and influenced your career and your life. So you have been thinking about it. You've done your homework, and I'm looking forward to see who those 5 are. So who should we start with?
Obviously, and I hope I don't cry, because the first one obviously is my father, because he was a coach in Vitoria, and I grew up with a ball. I grew up with the kids or the players at home, watching them with the balls in the boot of the car. So I was every single day in the training session. So my father was the first one who was a coach and who put me that seat, I think. But it's true that I didn't want to be a coach, because he was so fair, and I felt at the time that it was so difficult to be fair in one team, even when I was growing in those teams. So I declined to be a coach, because again, I thought that it was so fair. And then the time went really quick. And especially when I was those 3 years with Jose, I learned that it wasn't so difficult to be fair with the players. And sometimes it's just to be yourself. Sometimes it's like my father was. He was himself, and he was. Sometimes you have to tell the players things that they don't want to hear. But at the end, I didn't want to do the same that some coaches had done with me, to tell me that I was the best and I was going to play, and I never played. And so I think when I learned with my father, and with those 3 years with Jose were key for me.
Did he coach you? Were you in one of his teams?
No, never. And he thought that because he was, when I was in under 15 or under 16, he was in under 18, under 19 team. And he thought that the day that if I arrived to that team, he would leave, because he didn't want that anybody thought that I was playing because he was my father. So he thought that it wasn't good for me, it wasn't good for him. And we were lucky, because that year I went to Bilbao, so I played in Bilbao, and he could train under 18 team.
So it sounds to me, the way you're talking about him, is that he was not just showing you the path as a footballer, or in the future, things that you could learn from him to then apply to you as a manager, but he was also a teacher in life. Would that be right?
Of course, he was the best example that I could have. So if when sometimes someone tells you, what do you want to hear, is that I am like my father. So this is the best compliment that you can, or I can hear. So he was a teacher in the life. He was a teacher in football. He was curious how he changed his mood, because when I was a player, he was the most demanding person to me. And then when I became a coach, it was the opposite, because he knew how tough was to be a coach was, and he was always calling me after the games, transmitting me that, okay, don't worry, keep calm. When as a player, he had been the opposite. You should be play better, you should be play harder. So he was always demanding me for me when I was a player, but he changed it a lot when I was a coach.
Did you used to call him to hear how well you've done, or did you call him to actually get the criticisms that perhaps others wouldn't do to you?
I called him every single after every single game, because I knew that he was going to tell me the thing that I needed to hear. And the day that I was down, he was always giving me his support. And when I thought that wow, I was the best coach in the world, he told me, hey, don't worry, because you have started now, so keep calm, keep your feet on the floor, because so this kind of thing that always is the best balance. When you are really up, he kept me down, and when I was really, really down, he kept me up.
Do you remember one conversation in particular that really helped you in a time of difficulty, perhaps?
Oh, the main one was when I was the last year when I was in Madrid with Jose, and you know, at the end when we knew that the Jose wasn't gonna stay in Real Madrid, and he had offered me to go to Chelsea with him. But you know, I said a lot of times that I didn't see myself in Chelsea because I wasn't gonna be as useful as I had been with him in Madrid, because I didn't speak the language at the time. I didn't know the league. I didn't know the players. I didn't know the club. So I decided to tell him no. And the question is that if I was able to be a coach, and he looked at me like, why not? Why not? You have been a player. You have been an academy coach. You have been with the best coach in the best club. So why not? So you have been with me since you are 3-4 years. So of course you can do it. And you know, I went home, I went to bed and said, wow, if my father said something like this, because maybe I'm right.
Your father passed away not so long ago. Do you still speak to him?
Every day. Every day. Every day.
And he still tells you what to do, in a way.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And for that reason, I've been without working for 16 months, because he's waiting for something good for me, for sure.
Thank you for candor, Aitor. Now, who do we go next to?
I think the next one can be Jupp Heynckes, because you know, when I went to Bilbao, Howard was the manager there, and you know, the influence of the English football in Bilbao had been really, really big until that time. But Jupp arrived the season 92-93, and I played my first game with him the following season. And Jupp changed everything in Bilbao. He changed the style. He changed a lot of things in Bilbao. We got qualified for the Europa League at that time, the second year. So, and for me to be with him and to have that confidence with him was amazing. How much I learned. And then 4 years later, he came to Real Madrid. He called me again to come with him. So again, a very big year with him, learning in a completely different environment, because Real Madrid and Athletic Bilbao, they have a lot of similarities.
They are very similar in many ways, aren't they?
Yeah, but in another way, they are completely different. And I learned a lot of things with him here again. We won the Champions League in Amsterdam against the Juve after 32 years for Real Madrid. And then the third step was when he came back he went back to Bilbao. He called me again, and it was the third time with him. So imagine, I met him when I was 19, and I finished with him when I was 28, 29. So 3 different times. I was different each time. He was different each time. So for me, it's something that I learned a lot. But something like the normal things, like okay, the training session starts at 10. Okay, everybody should be at 10. The coach starts at 10. Everybody should. Normal things that sometimes they are not as usual as should be.
So you basically brought structure, a modern structure, if you like, to the way of doing the training sessions. But also, you must have learned little details that you kept using the whole of your career in terms of what, body language or decision making. What was the kind of thing you learned from him?
I think, and again, with the perspective of the time, a lot of similarities with Jose, because at the end it was the way to prepare the games. It wasn't just on video sessions, or it was on the pitch. We were finding things that we were gonna find in the games the following Saturday. So every single session was really well prepared. So again, it was a lot of things that with the time I saw in the Jose's methodology.
And you said that when he came to Athletic Club, he changed the culture. And that reminded me straight away on something that I think you did for Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough had a way of doing things. Generally, they would choose British coaches. You came in with a completely different approach. So what do you think a lot of Heynckes when you were at Middlesbrough, and how he had to fight a way of doing things, a culture that you want to change in?
Yeah, maybe yes, but I think the main thing that the reason that we could be successful in Bilbao or in Middlesbrough is because we changed, okay, the culture or the philosophy, but the beginning from the respect, because Jupp respected the philosophy and the history of Bilbao and Athletic Bilbao. And the main thing that I did when I arrived to Middlesbrough was to respect the club, to respect the people, because it's impossible to do the same in Bilbao or in Middlesbrough. And the main thing for me is to respect the people at the place where you are. And I think we changed it because we respected the Bilbao, and he respected Bilbao, and I respected the Middlesbrough, because it's impossible to change the history of Bilbao, the Athletic Bilbao, or it's impossible to change the history of Middlesbrough, because both of them are huge.
Do you remember one conversation that you had with you that you always took with you, something that you learned that day, or something that impacted you?
With Jupp, yes, especially at the beginning when he had to teach me things on the pitch, like a central defender. He told me, look, you need to watch games of Ronald Koeman, because look at him. He never stops the ball. He is always traveling with the ball, because if just the ball, you don't have body language. You are a stop, the ball is a stop. It's impossible to have a good pass if you are moving with the ball. Look at him. So this kind of advices that helped me a lot.
For those that haven't watched you play, I've watched you play, but anyway, I'm going to ask anyway. Were you like a Ronald Koeman type of centre back?
Well, Ronald is top. It's true that one period, and now when we've been at home for a while. When you open your drawers and you have papers of that time, and the sport, the newspaper, I was in the headline that they was going to be the following Ronald Koeman in Barcelona. So yeah, my son obviously couldn't believe. So no, but it's true. But Ronald was top. But obviously, as a central defender, always you look at the best.
Two things about that one. So you kept that cover, obviously you kept it,
yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
And secondly, you were close to sign for Barcelona at any point?
No. At that time, I was in Bilbao, and it was those headlines that I don't know. Maybe on the table was my name or not, but I was really pleased, and especially now after 30 years, when my son could see that his father was someone good.
See, I was like Ronald Koeman. This just says here. So if it's in the papers, it must be true.
I will show you one day.
So the third one, who do we go next to?
The third one, obviously, I think it can be Jose, because when I was in the academy, I learned a lot with people who I was working there, like Ginés Melén, for example. He was a top
legend.
Managing.
Ginés Melén is a legend in Spanish football.
It's a legend, and for example, the people are didn't believe or why I went to the press conference because Jose didn't want to go, or Jose didn't go, and I had done with Ginés in under 16, under 17 national team, because when I'm working with another person, we need to work together. And I remember one day after the game, Ginés told me, go to the press, because I have to go to speak with the president or something like that. And I went to the press conference like I did with Jose, because I think it's key when you are working with someone to have that confidence to think the same things. And for me, Ginés was a very good teacher, very good partner. I have still a very, very good relationship with him. And it's true that with Jose, 3 years, imagine, it was 3 years working with Jose in Real Madrid. So top level, every single, I could say every single game was 100%. No, every single training session, every single day with them, not with Jose, with all his team was amazing.
You jumped from coaching kids to the highest elite you could find at that time, which is working with Jose Mourinho. The jump, did you find that because you had been an elite player yourself, it was easier, or was it just a completely different language and job working with Jose Mourinho?
Was difficult because especially the relationship not with the players, because when I arrived to this Jose's staff, I thought, okay, how can I help them? Because Jose is Jose, Rui is the fitness coach, Moraes is the analyst, and Silvino is the goalkeeper coach. So how can I help them? So the first thing and the main thing was about the league, about the club, about every single thing. But I thought that they could really help them with the relationship with the players, because I have been one of them. And when you have a lot of games, you have to divide the group in two different groups. So Rui was one with the players who had played the game, and I was with the players who hadn't played. And I made a mistake because I thought as a ex-player instead of a assistant coach. So I remember one day when Rui came to me after 2 months, 3 months, because our relationship started really well since the very beginning. And 2 months, 3 months, he told me, "Hey, my friend, can I tell you one thing?" I said, "Rui, of course." And he told me, "Say, look, you need more." I said, "Why?" Say, "No, because the players need more." And I said, "Okay, Rui, thank you, but I've been one of them. I don't want to be that coach who are always say the assistant. They are not happy because they are not playing. So, okay, my friend, more. Okay. So 3 weeks, 4 weeks, my friend, more." Say, "Rui, come on. Yeah, I don't want to be there." Okay. So 2 weeks later, he came to me. He hugged me like this. Said, "Brother, more." And I said, "Wow." So 3 months later, Rui calling me brother and more. Say, but Rui, say, and he looked at me and said, look at him for Jose. I said, "Look, those players who are with you, one day they should play. If they are not fit, he will kill us. So you need to think about the team, not about the players who are not playing, because one day they will play and they need to be fit, because if they are not fit, it's going to be my fault, your fault, Jose's fault, and the players aren't going to be fit." So I said, wow, he's right. And from that day, I started to become a coach instead of an ex-player. And it was good because at that time I was demanding them, and everybody understood that he was right, because at the end, those players, when they played, they were fit.
I picture you coaching the under-16s with a little bit of sun, a little bit of breeze, all quite comfortable. You go to Madrid and it's an oven, very hot oven. But the one who manages the temperature of the oven is your own head coach. He is actually making the oven very hot, or very, 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 very hot. And you have to deal with all that, which means dealing with people, dealing with reactions, dealing with people not liking you, and being close to somebody that, as we're saying, is in top elite. So that must have been easy, because quite clearly at that time, you coaching staff was not liked, and Jose was happy with that, wasn't it?
Sorry?
So the you coaching staff with Jose Mourinho at the time, he wasn't looking for everybody to like you. He was looking to win. And I guess when you are a normal person, you want people to like you. But was that difficult to deal with, the fact that you had to be in that oven, hot oven, and also having to deal with people that perhaps didn't like you?
No, because I think, as I told you at the beginning, is that that I was wrong. And when I told you that to be fair or to not be fair, at the beginning, obviously, the players thought that, okay, another assistant boring us, but at the end, when those players played, they noticed that they were good.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end, you should be fair with them. You should tell them the truth. And one thing that I never did in Real Madrid, I never did in the academy, in the national team academy, I never did in Middlesbrough or on Forest, is to promise a player who is going to play. And in the past, it was usual to say, no, you are going to play. And now, for me, it's impossible because you don't know what is going to happen the following day. You don't know what is going to happen even in the game. So, and those days at the beginning was difficult because the players could feel my change. And again, as a player, you could say, you are doing this because Jose has told you this. But I didn't do that because Jose or Rui had told me that. I did that because I thought that it was good for everybody. So, and they could feel that it was good. When they played, they looked at me and said, wow, now, hey, you were right. And I said, no, I wasn't right. He was right, and everybody's right. And at the end, when you are working in one staff, you need to work as an assistant or as a fitness coach or as a coach, you need to have the best of the players. And with those methods, you need to arrive to all of them. And sometimes it's here, sometimes it's, I don't remember how many times after the training sessions, I went to the floor on the grass, sitting with them, speaking about the life or about, because I thought that they were bad because they weren't playing, or so a lot of things that as a player I could use with those players. So sometimes again, when the oven was so hot, I had to go there and say, hey, come on, keep calm, you know him, and or sometimes with Jose, hey, the player is not good. So so those kind of things that as a coach, my experience as a player in those changing room was really important.
So you were trying to manage the heat of the oven every now and again, just regulate it a little bit, helping Jose get to the target of maximizing the potential of those players. But on his methodologies, anything that you took with you for your future jobs?
Oh, a lot of things. And one thing that he asked me when we were working together, one day he asked me, what, as a player, what do you miss, or what do you think that we can do better? Or and I told him, look, one thing I missed to have played with you, because it would have been a pleasure to play in one team under Jose, because again, he was so methodic. He had everything under control. The way that he spoke to the players, you could feel their faces that everybody was convinced what they were doing, because they don't leave any detail. He was, again, the training sessions, the video, the respect of each other. So he had all the package at that time, and it hadn't been possible to win the league against that Barcelona if you are not the best like he was at that time.
In fact, Jose himself now is trying to look back a little bit and thinking that those years in Madrid, considered by some not having reached the expectations, actually there were things that you did that made the Real Madrid candidate for everything. No, you could have won the Champions League, you won the league, you won a cup. Do you also feel that you did as much as you could with Madrid?
I think so, and obviously, like every single thing, you look with the perspective of the things, and now to win that league, for example, with the record of goals, the record of points against that Barcelona was amazing. It's true that in Real Madrid the Champions League is the main trophy, but again, in that semi-final, who was gonna think that Ronaldo, Kaká, and Sergio Ramos were gonna miss the penalties, for example, no? So. But football is like...
These were the semi-finals against Bayern Munich.
Yeah. So, but again, I think the main thing that I have I keep for that time is that Jose and we as a staff, as a club, the players, we did our best, and then we reached what we reached. So again, we did things well, for sure. We did the things bad, for sure. But again, now I think for me the memories are amazing.
Who next? Who will be your fourth most influential person in your career and life?
I think we were speaking about him at the beginning. So the person who, I don't want to say forced me to be a coach, but who give me that push to take the licenses at the beginning was Fernando Hierro, because again, we created a very good relationship when we were playing together. We kept that relationship when I went to Bilbao, or he went to Bolton, so we were in touch. When I came back to Madrid to live, I had bought the house just next to him, so we were neighbors. And when I was in Madrid, we were having a lunch, and I said, "What are you gonna do now?" I said, "I don't know, Fernando. And now I want to enjoy my life. 33 years playing football. I need to spend time with my wife, with my son. He was at the time 3-4 years, my daughter. So I want to enjoy my life, to enjoy with my parents. So no. Come with me. Let's take the license." I said, "No, Fernando, I don't like it." I told him the same. I don't think I'll be able to do it, because I feel it's so unfair. Say, no. Okay, come with me, because I know now I was living this life 1 year, 2 years ago. And at the beginning is the paradise. Okay, your wife, your parents, the things that you couldn't do in the past. So the first time is going to be a paradise. But let's see the following month, the following year. So you are going to need to leave your house. So come with me, take the license, we'll be together. The people who are going to do the license, the course is amazing. All of them were football players. So, okay, so he convinced me. And then we started the course. And that course was amazing. I remember people in that course like Mauricio Pochettino, or El Mono Burgos now in Atlético Madrid. So a lot of coaches who now are in the top level, and the relationship between us was amazing. So we're studying all day, but after that day, one game, 11 against 11. So it was really good. Then we had the second license, and Fernando became a sporting director in the federation. And when I finished the third one, he asked me if I wanted to go with him. And he told me, "Yes, but you have to train." And I said, "Fernando, but you know that I don't like to train." And he said, "No, you are going to train, because you are going to do really well. Because, you have been a player. I know you, your personality with those kids. You're going to teach them a lot of things. Hines will help you a lot. So, okay, let's start." And I am letting him, and he's the person who I am a coach.
You say you got your coaching badges with the likes of Mono Burgos and Pochettino. Did Pochettino look like already a coach? Did he talk like a coach? You could tell that he was going to be a successful one.
I was going to tell you since the first minute of the course, but I'm going to tell you that since he left the hotel. From the hotel till the classroom, you could feel that he was really, really, really looking forward for the title and for being successful. So it's not a coincidence. So he was always speaking about the classes. He was always speaking with the teachers. He was always asking. I remember, for example, at that time, I remember Ernesto Valverde was at the Espanyol, I think. And because I had been with him in Bilbao, he was asking me about Ernesto, his methodology. So you could feel that he was ready to do it.
In fact, it was Ernesto Valverde who told Pochettino, "I don't want you," and kind of forced his retirement, something that Pochettino didn't understand at the time. But when he became a coach, he understood where the coach was coming from. I imagine you've gone through a lot of that as well.
Sorry, when you become a manager, you understand a lot of things that you didn't understand as a player.
Exactly. Just before leaving Fernando Hierro, for those that haven't watched him, describe us how good he was and why he was so special as a player.
Well, as a player, it was amazing. I remember playing with him, and when you had Roberto Carlos like a fullback, he was always attacking. So I left my position a lot of times, and sometimes we conceded a goal in the first post. And at the beginning, more or less like Rui, say, "Hey, stay here, first post." Say, "No, Fernando, I should go there because Robert is there. I have to go behind him." Say, stay here. The third one, who wasn't stay here. He shouted me, hey, stay here. And then when I stayed where Fernando had told me, the ball arrived to that position. I said, wow. So he knows something about the game. So he was something like that, and you can learn. And I needed to run much less that I had been running. So he was a coach inside the pitch, and how much the opponents respected him, his hierarchy, his just his presence on the pitch was amazing.
And the fifth person, who else?
The fifth person is chosen a player who I had in Middlesbrough, and he was just 21 years old. He had been, I don't know how many places before that time. He had a big stone in his back, I think. Speaking or comparing with me, that my father and me. So the fifth person is Ben Gibson. So his uncle is the owner of Middlesbrough, and it wasn't easy for him to be at that position. And he was a kid, because now he's not a kid, obviously. And he was a kid who was always ready to learn, always ready to improve, always knowing that for him it was difficult, because that's her name. Always is difficult in that club, and he was improving. He was learning until he arrived to the national team. So the day that he went to the national team, I had left Middlesbrough just 1 month before, and I was visiting him in St. George's Park, and it was amazing, how a kid who I had been teaching or helping 3 years later was in the national team, and his character. Now we could see what he's done for the community in Middlesbrough with a challenge. So it was a pleasure.
A lot of people say that say Jose Mourinho, when he leaves players behind, some hate him, some love him, but the ones that love him really adore him. And I think, I'm not sure many hate you, but the ones that love you and you've helped really adore you, speak very, very highly of you. I imagine Gibson's one of them, but what is it that you give to the players that they feel that they maximize their potential? How do you manage to do that?
I told you, it's more or less the same thing. Is to try to be fair, to don't fool them, and I tell them a lot of times when they are coming to my office and they are in one sofa, I tell them, say, look, I've been in that sofa, I don't know how many times, I don't know how many times as a player, and I don't want for you to feel the thing that I felt in the past. So I don't want that you are gonna leave this office thinking that I am the best coach in the world, the best person in the world, because I am telling you that you are gonna play and you are the best. Because in 1 month or in 1 week or in 2 weeks, you are gonna notice that it's not true. So I prefer that you are gonna leave this office thinking that I am awful, but with the time you will realize that I was true. And if you deserve, you will play, and if you don't deserve, you don't play. And at the end, when you are fair with the players, when you are honest, when you are one of them and you try to think like them, it's impossible, because sometimes some players have told me, hey, it's unbelievable. You have been a player and now you are doing this. And I told you, said, yes, because I was a player, but now I am a coach. And if one day you are a coach, you will realize again that everything is going to change. And again, I try to create that atmosphere in between everybody, that everybody is the same. My treatment with the chairman, with Steve Gibson, is almost, with the differences, but the ratio that I have with the kidman, for example, I am in touch with the kidman of Middlesbrough, I am in touch with the kidman on Forest, because I try to create that atmosphere as a family, and to feel everybody important, because it's important the chairman who signs the player, it's important the striker who scores the goals, but it's important the kidman who clean the boots for the players. And I think when you create that family, the people who are playing love you, but the people who are not playing hate you. So, but it's football.
I've followed closely your career as a manager, especially, and I see that there is a lot there that you've learned, but a lot that you took, as you're explaining, as a player. In fact, you have a lot. You carry a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. I just wonder where you would like to put that knowledge next, because you still want to coach, you still want to manage in the right place, I imagine. But what does that right place look like?
So now it's difficult because everything is stopped, and now the main thing is to recover not just football, the social life. I think is important for everybody to be safe, to find a vaccine for the coronavirus, and then we'll think about football. So now I am trying to do different things, but it's true that I am waiting for the project, and that project that I could feel the same thing that I felt in Middlesbrough or in Forest, no? To create a family, to create something that, again, since the kidman till the chairman, when they arrive to the training ground, they feel that everybody's on board, everybody's important, everybody wants to improve, everybody wants to help. So it's the project which I'm waiting for, but for those projects you need time. And that is a problem. And sometimes you don't have that time to do it, because now the people want results. The people want to get promotion or win the trophies in October. So that is the problem. So, but again, I am calm. I've been out for 16 months, something like that. And as we said at the beginning, my father will give me something good.
Finally, one of the things that you're saying you are creating and you are doing with your time is as a congress, a meeting, which of course will be telematically, I imagine, through Zoom, through Skypes. Explain a little bit about it, because it seems to me one of the highlights of this period in which we have the opportunity to do these things.
Yeah, everything started 3 months ago. Sorry. And before,
it probably feels like 3 years.
Yeah, or more. No, but I'm speaking with my analyst and say why, because both of us will have a very good relationship with Mauricio and with Jesus Perez, his fitness coach. And hey, we have good friends. Why we don't speak with them and create a congress for the people, for the coaches to learn from the best? And at the very beginning, the idea was to speak with Mauricio, with Jose, but then everything started to change. The first idea was to do it here in Madrid, in an auditorium with a lot of coaches from here. But again, the situation started to change. We couldn't do here. We couldn't call managers who are working now, because nobody knows what is going to happen. But we were thinking about all the coaches. Then I started to speak with Ernesto Valverde, with Arsene Wenger, with 4 ex-national team coaches like Hierro, like Clemente, like Camacho, like Del Bosque. All of them, their help has been amazing since the beginning. All of them told me, okay, don't worry, whatever you want. So Victor Horta leads the sporting director. So we are gonna cover a lot of areas for a coach, and then we have to change. Now it's obviously online because nobody knows what is going to happen. It's the 12th and 13th of June, and I've been in touch with the LMA because it's good for them to follow that Congress. I want to say thanks again to the LMA because the help is always really good, and I think I'm really looking forward for the Congress because I think it's something that we can learn as a coaches, even in those difficult moments.
Hold on. Pochettino, Jesus Perez, Arsene Wenger, Vicente Bosque, Camacho, Ernesto Valverde, Victor Horta, Hierro, in the same place.
Aitor Karanka in the same place.
Aitor Karanka, who just obviously had be the mastermind of the whole thing. What can people register for that?
whoever he wants. I think at the beginning it was for coaches, but we have also, and I don't want to make that mistake, and I forgot we have two women, the sporting director of Atletico Madrid, Maria Vargas, and Toña Is, who was Spanish national team under 17 World Cup champion. So again, it's for everybody. It's for coaches, sporting directors, fitness coaches. We have Javi Miñano, for example, is a Valencian World Cup winner with Vicente del Bosque. So at the beginning, we thought that it was for coaches, but I think it's good for everybody. And even one journalist asked me, "What about journalists?" And I said, "Can be good because sometimes you could not learn, but you could see football from other perspective and from other perspective, and sometimes you can understand why coaches take those decisions for those reasons." So I think it's for everybody, and we will donate something of the money to Cruz Roja, which there is a project, Red Cross, because there is a project here with Rafa Nadal and Pau Gasol. So we will donate the money for the people who really need now. So I think it's a good product, and I hope that everybody can enjoy it as I am enjoying doing it.
So we look at your timeline on your Twitter, or has you got a Twitter address?
Yeah, there is a Twitter, and there is a website. It's goldencoachcongress.com. So there is the website. So it will be translation Spanish and English. We don't want to do a Skype conversation, so we want to do it in a right place with the streaming. So really well organized, and it's taking really hard.
Good luck with it, and I'll definitely be there.
Thank you very much.
Here, but there. I will stream it, or whatever the word is. I thought it's been a pleasure, as always, talking to you. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed it too.